Because of him, all our families got killed. Nobody has found, I think I found it. I believe I found a room right here. Nobody has touched it yet. I hope nobody opens it till I get to it. That was the atrocity, bro. All of it was atrocity.
So what about the gold toilet? Was the gold toilet true? Ahoy, and welcome to Colombia, my favourite country, which was home to the biggest drug trafficker in the world, Pablo Escobar. Now, I've watched Narcos at least 6 times, so I am familiar with the story, but today I'm with my mate Johnny to find out the truth behind Escobar and the Medellin cartel. Johnny witnessed some of the crimes and tragedies caused by the cartel, and he personally knows some of the Escobar family, so I'm with the right man. Let's get cracking.
Right now, we're on our way to do the first stop. We're gonna go to the house where Pablo Escobar used to live, like his only official house. Even though there's about 800 properties, which I personally know here in this valley, there was only one official place. So after this happened, Pablo Escobar never had a steady home because he was always hiding, always running here and there, here and there. This is the place where Pablo Escobar used to live. All this park that you see right there on the right side is the place, is the property that belonged to Pablo Escobar. Monaco building is not there anymore because in Medellin, no one feels proud about Pablo Escobar or the Medellin cartel or anything that they did because we are all victims. Everyone that lives in Medellin from the year 1975 to like the beginning of the 90s, we all lose somebody. In my house, my uncle got killed by a bomb. Then a few years later, when I turned 16, my dad got shot 3 times in his face. And like everybody that I know, every single person, family, relatives, friends of friends, if they from Medellin, they live in Medellin during those times, they lose somebody too. That's why nobody feels proud about Pablo Escobar. Especially in Medellin, they've been trying to erase Pablo out of the memory of the world for years. But it's impossible because the dude is 300 times more popular right now than he was 30 years ago. The American series, the American documentaries, they made a mistake when it comes to all this history because Pablo Escobar was not the maximum leader behind the Medellin cartel, and he was also not the richest man. We all know in Antioquia that Gustavo Gaviria, his cousin, was the leader and also 4 times richer than Pablo Escobar.
Wow.
You know? Pablo Escobar was just a man that decided to be the label of the Medellin cartel. Monaco building was really a huge building. This was it right there. It was a huge building, you know. The mayor of Medellin decided that it shouldn't be standing. And this is what he did to the building.
Wow.
He knocked it down right there and then, about 5 years ago, because the place was becoming very touristic, you know. Now, he built what is called the Park of Inflection. The United States decided to join forces with the Colombian authorities, catch Pablo Escobar. They offered $10 million for Pablo Escobar dead or alive and his brother, you know? So Pablo Escobar sent his people to the United States Embassy and put a car bomb right there, the 26th of November, 1984. I was born in the year 1981. I'm 42 years old now. So I grew up in the middle of all this shit, you know? First bomb was the American embassy. Most cities, most places in the world, when they are labeled as violent, as dangerous places, is because of shooters, it's because of drive-bys, it's because of all this shit, you know. But not here. Here it was bombs. Bombs, 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 3, 4, 5 bombs. Every fucking day throughout my entire childhood, you know. I grew up in the middle of this. That's why guys like me in Colombia are called the mafia kids, because we grew up under the mafia culture. Papi, ¿cómo vas?
Whatever he says is true.
Whatever he says is true. I hope so.
50% bullshit.
Hilton Hotel in Cartagena.
Yes.
I was there 2 weeks ago.
Avianca plane.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Yes, right here. 27 November 1989.
Yeah, that was the atrocity when the president didn't get on.
That was the atrocity, bro. All of it was atrocity.
Yeah.
You know, every time a bomb exploded out here, it used to kill 100+ people and injure 300. That much things inside the properties and houses, 3-4 blocks around. You know, I remember Medellin just like how they show Ukraine right now after Russia invaded them. You know, everything destroyed, a lot of dead people. Like, I mean, I grew up watching people hang from the trees, dead on the gutters. There was a crazy war going on up here.
Wow.
Yes. The Avianca plane, supposedly the president was going to take a commercial flight because they had the presidential chopper already target to be knocked down. Last minute, the president didn't jump on this plane, and as soon as the plane take off, boom, exploded with 180 innocent people to add to this count. That's why I say every single person that lived in Medellin between the year 1975 and the beginning of the 80s, we are all victims of the Medellin cartel.
But what I don't get is that a man who is capable of doing all these bombings could love his family so much, but then deprive other families of other family members.
Why not? Why not? I've seen sicarios all the time. They kill people for money and they love their moms.
Yeah, but it's so messed up, isn't it? Because they're taking away someone else's mum. It's just, it's like a mental block, isn't it?
Like, check this out. You love your mom, but you cannot love mine.
No, but I wouldn't hurt her.
Because you're not a sicario.
No.
That's not your job.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So what about the gold toilet? Was the gold toilet true?
Bullshit.
Yeah?
Bullshit.
So he never had a gold toilet?
I don't know. Totally bullshit.
Oh, that's disappointing. Because in Narcos, that's how they found him, didn't it?
65-70% of what you saw in Narcos is bullshit.
Oh, I can't believe he didn't have a gold toilet. That's disappointing, that.
Why? He probably had money to buy one, but that was never recorded. Like, we don't have a record history about him.
No proof about it.
Shitting on a gold toilet.
Escobar was driving around his neighborhood one day and was furious to see hundreds of people from his city searching for food on a rubbish dump. So he built over 3,000 houses for them high up on a hill. That's our next stop.
Now we're going to the neighborhood that Pablo Escobar built up for the poor people of Medellin, the people that live at the garbage dump, called El Relleno de Doña Juana. All the little houses up there is the Pablo Escobar neighborhood.
And how many houses?
About 3,000.
3,000 houses. So we have to pay for protection, Johnny?
Supposedly.
Okay, well, here you go.
Supposedly we gotta pay for protection, but it's protection from the guys that live in the neighborhood. So it's really not protection, it's an extortion. Either you pay or they rob you.
So it's a case of being robbed or just pay?
Of course.
Okay.
It'd be cheaper to lose $10, 10,000 Colombian pesos than $1 million worth of cameras and money and whatever you got on you.
Okay, I hear you. No brainer that, isn't it? Pay $3 for protection to get into the neighborhood and not get robbed.
Yes.
Either way, we're getting robbed, but I'd rather get robbed of $3 than 1,000, like you say. Right, we're entering it now.
We enter in the Pablo Escobar neighborhood.
This is pretty fucking surreal, I've got to be honest. I mean, the city in general, on the whole, is just like, shh, don't mention Pablo Escobar. And I get it. I mean, that's how it should be, right? But up here, is he still Robin Hood? I'm going to ask Johnny in a minute and try to find out why he built 3,000 houses for homeless people, for poor people, because that's, on the face of it, that's a really nice thing to do, right? Well, we'll see. Plato o plomo, silver or lead?
Yes.
Take the money?
Money
take
or
the bullet?
lead, yes.
That used to be what I used to drink, Johnny, that. I could do a bottle of that in 20 minutes.
That shit will last me like a year.
Yeah?
I will drink a sip every month.
Yeah, I could do a bottle of that in 20 minutes, no problem.
This is where they used to live. So Pablo Escobar said it's okay to be poor, but not to live in misery.
Yeah, on the garbage, look.
Bro, they used to wait for the garbage trucks to dump the shit, and they would go all out and looking for food, looking for something. Look, the pictures don't lie.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. So, Johnny, the big question is, Pablo Escobar took people from the rubbish dump and put them into 3,000 houses that he built for them. Yeah? But why? That sounds like a nice thing to do, right?
No, it was not a nice thing to do. He had the money to do so, you know? But there was always a reason why.
A catch.
The dude was joining the politics.
Yeah.
So he needed the votes for all these people so he can win the election. It's simple.
So it's an easy 3,000 votes. Take them off the trash pile, give them a house and say, right, you're mine now, vote for me. So because he had the money, he could afford to build 3,000 houses just to get some votes to get himself into parliament.
He probably built these houses with his left pocket change.
Yeah, with the change in his pocket.
Bro, a dude that makes $60 million overnight, he need $1 million to build this entire thing.
Wow.
30 years ago.
So it was a good deal for the votes. Wow.
A lot of people try to put Pablo Escobar like on a pedestal, trying to bring up the good things, but there's no good things. Everything is bad.
So everything is bad?
Everything is bad.
Right, well that answers our question, right? The world's only Pablo Escobar gift shop and barbers. So you can come in here and buy all your souvenirs, cups, glasses, shirts, and get your hair cut at the same time. Bought myself a keyring. When in Rome, you have to, don't you? You've got to buy yourself something from the Pablo Escobar gift shop. Next up, Johnny took me to see Escobar's luxury resort, or prison as he referred to it when negotiating his surrender. He stayed there for less than 1 year before making a run for the hills and once again escaping the authorities.
In the past 29 years, 30 years, there has been found about $380 million all over these mountains in different stages.
Wow.
But that's nothing. That's only like a half a week work for Pablo Escobar. I'm friends with Pablo Escobar's oldest brother, Roberto Escobar. See, I also know Laura Escobar, Nicolas Escobar, and a lot of the Escobar kids, because I grew up right there in the neighborhood. I grew up 1 block and a half away from Pablo Escobar's mom's house. Because of that, I know all these people. Roberto Escobar told me, and I got the chats right here in my WhatsApp. He told me that they were hiding between Costa Rica and Panama, all those islands, while the authorities were looking for the Medellin cartel, Pablo Escobar, and the other bosses here all over Colombia. One day, he told me that Pablo Escobar got up and he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not hiding no more. I'm tired of hiding. So he decided to call the president of Colombia, Cesar Gaviria at the time, and he told them, look, I'm gonna turn myself in, but I got a couple of conditions. The first one is that you cannot put me on a regular jail because I got too many enemies and they're gonna end up killing me. The second one is that no one can go inside my jail without my permission. The third one is that you guys gotta allow me to have one of my choppers close to where I'm gonna be incarcerated, just in case my enemies manage to break inside the jail to try to kill me. I have a chance to escape and then renegotiate with the government and get my surrender. After consideration, the president, the Congress, it was either that with those conditions or not having him. And the Colombian government was under a lot of international pressure because Pablo Escobar flooded the United States with cocaine inside the jail.
The first
guard, yes. Back then, nobody was allowed to go through that gate that we just passed without Pablo Escobar's permission. Anybody crossing that gate without his permission was risking to get killed. In this place, a lot of shit happened. A lot of people got killed, chopped down in pieces, buried all over this place. They fed the pieces of the people that they chopped down to the animals that live in this jungle. And as you can see, you can make a cemetery out here and ain't nobody gonna find out about it.
So these are Pablo Escobar's stables. The only jail in the world to have its own stables.
Yes, you're not supposed to have no fucking horses in jail.
No.
This is the route that Pablo Escobar took to escape, where he decided to escape, you know?
So this is the actual path.
This is the actual path.
Where Pablo and his sicarios ran
Yes.
on the night that the government came in
Yes.
to storm the prison.
Yes.
As if.
Right here was a statue of the Virgin Mary that we call La Virgen de los Sicarios, the Sicarios Virgin. Colombia is mostly a Catholic country. Because of that, also the Sicarios are. Back then, they would have come up here and asked the statue of the Virgin Mary. Virgin Mary, I need to kill an enemy here or there. Please grant me the protection that I need to get away with it. Some crazy prayers. After they done some killing or doing whatever that they came to ask for holy help, you know, they would come back and buy these plates. Before, this thing was full of plates.
Right, so this is what I don't get. These are deeply religious sicarios on their way to murder people, and they would come here to a shrine and pray that their bullets went straight to kill other human beings, right?
For protection, yeah.
Is that not a direct contradiction to their religion, like the deadly sins, like don't kill, and they're literally asking, it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah, it's one of the 10 commandments.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they kill 300 people and come here and ask for protection after they directly contradict everything the religion stands
Yes.
for.
Roberto told me that they set up a cave with running water and electricity out here. Nobody has found it. I think I found it. You know what I mean? I started doing some digging already because I'm gonna get inside that bitch. Look. Pablo Escobar used to build rooms like this to stack them with money. Boom, boom, boom. From the bottom all the way to the top. and then he will cover the whole thing. You know, so there will be millions of dollars behind the wall in a room that nobody will suspect that behind this thing was a hollow room. I mean, full of money. That's how they used to hide the money. I believe I found a room right here, you know. Nobody has touched it yet. I hope nobody opens it till I get to it.
Well, here we are, let's go.
This is like a normal room, okay? If I bang on this, nothing. See? I bang on this and just regular rock, you know? I bang on the floor, regular rock, you know? But if I get closer to this side, check this out. Check this out. There's a fucking room behind this piece of
Yeah,
no.
certainly sounds like it, yeah. We need a fucking sledgehammer.
Because this is not my place. I don't own this place.
Yeah.
If I own this place, all this shit would be down years ago.
That's a hole from people digging, looking for the
That's
cash.
people just looking for money.
I don't
Here-
blame them. I'd be doing the same. If I lived here, I'd be coming up here once a month with a spade. Fuck it, get digging. Why not?
Right here is where the Galliano brothers were drowned.
They were drowned right there.
Yes. You know, after Pablo Escobar found out they were snitching, in one of his parties, they got everybody drunk. So one of the nicest, their workers, they brought in really drunk and boom, they drowned him right here.
Not nice. Pablo Escobar's helipad.
Inside the jail.
Inside the jail. He did not give a shit, did he? That there is Pablo Escobar's cell.
Supposedly.
Look at that.
Sometimes he would get out of that little door right there and had a balcony with a panoramic view of the entire valley right in front. Some other times he would walk down those concrete steps right there because right next to his supposedly cell, he had a Turkish bath and an steam room. The showers were right here, and when they go around this structure, they will end up in the soccer field. Papi, ¿cuáles fueron los?
The penultimate stop takes us to the place where Pablo Escobar died, the moment Colombia finally felt peace after years of terror.
Now we're on our way to the place where Pablo Escobar passed away.
Where he got shot.
Where he got shot or where he shot himself. One or two.
Yeah.
Couple of hypotheses about it. Okay, this is the house in which Pablo Escobar was hiding the day that the search black found him. Okay, the house doesn't look at all how it looked like 30 years ago.
No.
You know, they fix it, they fix the front, they got a new balcony on the third floor, the gate was not there, the gate at the door was not there, on the windows that was not there, that was not the color of the house. Kind of like the old house looked like that one over there.
Yeah, because it had the famous red tiles, right? He was found dead on, he was shot on the top of the red tiles. So that's before. And that's now. Yeah, so it's significantly taller. It's an entirely different house, isn't it?
Of course, he got an extra floor now,
Yeah,
an extra level.
So he would have been shot around there.
So what happened was that back then we didn't have no cell phones, we didn't have no pagers, none of them. Only like the riches and the narcos, they had these satellite telephones. Those telephones they transmit a very intense signal, okay? The search black with the United States, they were tracking the calls. They had a plane, a chopper, and 2 cars on the ground tracking the calls in parts of the city. And they were looking for words like patron, bomba, dinero, plata, plomo, stuff like
Keywords,
that. Keywords. They were looking for those keywords. The son of the General Peñate, he was in charge of the search black, was driving to here where he saw Pablo Escobar in the window talking to his son. The police had his whole family in a hotel called El Tequendamita, you know, because they were in danger. Los Pepes were going to attack the nest to make Pablo Escobar come out of his hiding place. He was talking on the phone when the officer saw him. He went to a full stop. Went in there, kicked the door. As he went in, they shot a few shots from inside the house. So the police fell back, but in less than 1 minute, this whole place was surrounded by military, by police, by sicarios, by Los Pepes. So the second time the search black, they went in there, boom, kicked the door. Limon started running up the stairs and they shot him right there in the back. So Limon fell on the steps. But Pablo Pablo Escobar managed to run all the way to the back of the house, jump out the kitchen window onto the rooftop, the next house over on the other side, and that's where everything finished. A lot of people claims that they were the ones that killed them. Murphy, the DEA agent, he claims that he was the one that gave them the last shot. The Search Black claims that they were the ones that killed Pablo Escobar, also did Los Pepes. But Pablo's family says that Pablo Escobar told them throughout his criminal career that when the time comes, he was going to put a bullet behind his right ear. Now, Pablo Escobar got shot like about 9 times, but the autopsy revealed that the first bullet that took his life went behind his right ear.
Wow.
From that point on, it's up to anyone to believe whatever. I believe his family.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So this is the other side of where we just were. That's the building, obviously taller than it ever was before, but that was what we were just looking at. He jumped out of the back, came across this roof, and on top of that roof there was where he got shot, or shot himself, which is still open to, well, you decide for yourselves. Hard to imagine what that must have been like.
The whole country felt at peace when Pablo Escobar died.
Yeah.
He was a monster.
Yeah.
He was an assassin. He was a narco trafficker. Because of him, all our families got killed.
Yeah.
That's why we don't feel proud about Pablo Escobar or the Medellin cartel or anything that they did.
Yeah, that's where he died then. And finally, we saw his resting place, where people come to do something rather unusual. The graveyard where he's buried then. Here we are. Pablo's buried over there. And this is his cousin, Gustavo.
Okay, we got here the Escobars. Here we got Pablo Escobar, Doña Armilda Escobar, Pablo's mom, Limon, Juan Manuel Escobar, Pablo's uncle, and Don Abel, Pablo Escobar's dad. The stones were changed for Pablo Escobar's 25th anniversary. The older stones didn't have the messages on the bottom. As a matter of fact, the older stone, the one that was changed a couple of years ago, exactly 6 years ago, had a decoloration right here. Because for many years, people from all over the world were coming out here to sniff coke on top of this grave.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
Oh, I got videos from Israelis, Americans, Mexicans, Germans.
So do they still come and do that then?
Yeah, some dumb people come and do that. You know, that's nasty, bro. It's sticking up your nose.
People obviously treat these with respect though.
Hell no.
No?
Why
I mean,
would
obviously people might snort cocaine off his, but I mean, it's in pretty good condition. There's no graffiti, there's no signs of real hatred towards the man.
Well, if you mean hatred, people come and break in the shit, why would they do that? Like, the dude has been dead for 30 years. He's not gonna feel anything. I step on his grave, do you think he feels anything?
No.
Not at all.
No, that's not.
My dad got killed because of this motherfucker right here.
Yeah.
You know, so there's no respect or nothing, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he said, Johnny, right? He always said that he would rather a grave in Colombia than a cell in the USA.
Exactly.
Yeah, and here he is. Probably as close to a happy ending as he was going to get, right?
Bro, tell me one narcos that have a happy ending.
No, yeah, that's what I mean.